Welcome back to Coffee with Yvonne, a show for creatives and entrepreneurs. I'm Yvonne Pearson, your host and the founder of Pink Dollhouse Marketing. And I know I have been on a bit of a hiatus. It was planned, first and foremost, the spring break hiatus, but the extended part of my break was not planned. And the reason for that is I experienced a sudden death in my family. My mom's twin sister, my Aunt Anne, suddenly passed a month ago, about the time of this recording. And it rocked my world. It flipped my entire world and my mom's entire world, our family in general, upside down. And as someone who, if you have any idea about how twins operate, my mom and her twin sister were very close, which means also that I was also close to my aunt because genetically she also is my mother. So the loss of my aunt feels like losing a parent. And I'm not trying to minimize anyone who has lost a parent, but I'm just saying in relationship to me, that's how it feels. To have this person that you grew up with from day one, like knows everything about you, has seen you grow up, has seen you go from a child to an adult to, all the things, is suddenly gone. And you didn't have time to even process the thought of them not being here is a lot to take in. I am okay as I am right now. I am navigating grief in the best way possible, in a healthy way, by going to therapy. I've been going to therapy beforehand, but continue to go to therapy now. And it just took a lot of encouragement for me even getting back on this podcast, to be honest with you, because the way I related content when it came to me and my aunt's relationship, my aunt was one of my biggest cheerleaders when it came to the choice I made in my career. When I decided a long time ago when I was in college that being a doctor was not for me and that I wanted to pursue a creative career, specifically working in marketing. And then down the line, when I started exploring content creation through social media and specifically this podcast. So in relationship to that, a lot of the things that I remember about her are tied to my love of creating content, even down to when she would come to visit. The first thing she would ask is, I want to create content. I want to create content. And she would pull up whatever trend was on TikTok at the time, and I would indulge her. And we would create videos based on what she wanted to do for her social media pages. So I am doing my best. I am showing up, but I wanted to share with you why I had an extended absence from social media, from this show, and I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, and it took me talking to my mom to get her perspective. It took prayer to get the courage to come back on this mic, because to be honest with you, and I did talk about this on my TikTok, if you follow me on TikTok, about navigating grief and how it is a challenge and how I just wanted to pack it all up and not do it anymore. But I know that's not what she would have wanted. So what I am doing essentially is being honest and real with all of you, my listeners, whether you listen here in the Washington, D.C. area, or you're in one of the countries that I discovered listen to my show around the world. What I am doing here is being honest with you about where I am and navigating my grief. But what I'm also doing is committing to you that I will show up and that I will continue to show up, and that, we're going to figure this out together, because Coffee with Yvonne is something that she loves to listen to. It's something that when I explored testing for YouTube and, really lean into it, she loved watching me on her television. She will always say, I love watching you on my TV. And I'm like, she mean YouTube? But I know how much joy it brought her. I know how much joy content creation brings me. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the job and I'm going to do the work. And I really appreciate those who were aware of what I am dealing with, what my family is dealing with, giving me the space to process and not pushing too much about anything, checking in on me, checking on my mental health. I appreciate everyone for showing up for me, for praying for me and my family. It is greatly appreciated. While it feels like a part of me is missing and that part will never be filled, I have to continue to live my life. I have to continue to carry her name as her namesake. My middle name is her first name. I have to continue on because that's what she would have wanted. As a fellow creative who hung out with Prince and danced on tables and knew Sheila E. and all them, which this is a true story, who was a person who wrote a book with her husband that's published and recognized in the archives of the Library of Congress, who introduced me to The Devil Wears Prada, which is one of my absolute favorite movies, who loved Beyonce as much as I did, was my fellow member of the Beehive, and who, no matter what I knew, would comment on any of my posts, whatever social media platform it was, would reshare my content, would share any of my updates and accolades on her social media page about how proud she was of me. For my aunt, I will continue to do the work and I will continue to show up and do what she did by having impact, a positive impact on people's lives, by having a positive impact on others, by being genuine, by being kind, by being real. Because that's one thing my Aunt Ann is a real person, a real genuine person who stood 10 toes down about me, 10 toes down about her family, and lived in her truth. And that is what I will continue to do. So we're going to do this podcast today, and I dedicate this episode to my Aunt Ann, who I miss very much. Who I miss so much. But this is for you, and I will continue to do my part to make you proud. I will continue to live my life in a genuine way and be a good person, because that's how you raised me, how mom raised me. That's how you guys instilled the morals and values within me. And I am thankful to you for that. And I will miss your laugh. I will miss your hugs. But I know that you will always be around to let me know that you are here and that you support me. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. Give me 1 second to clear my face up and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. So on this week's episode, we are doing our marketing magic episode. And I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm actually really looking forward to talking about these things because I've been sending myself all the stuff via DMs and not answering myself. So I know my DMs are very crowded of me sending me things. So I picked out some of my favorite stories I've been paying attention to while I was on hiatus. If you're new here and, have never listened to the pod, don't follow me on social media, let me explain what our Marketing Magic episode is all about. The Marketing Magic episode is an episode segment in which we dive into popular campaigns I see on social media or in the news, and I talk about the marketing strategy behind them. It could be anything. It could be pop culture. It could be business news, whatever that is interesting. We talk about it and we dive into it. So on this week's Marketing Magic episode, we're chatting all about Cardi B, Miss herself and her expansion into the fashion industry. Marriott is ponying up for Cowboy Carter, which I've already started putting my outfit together. And I cannot wait to share that content with y'all. I got my mom involved in this one. But Marriott is ponying up with Cowboy Carter. We're talking about the Black Fashion Fair inaugural symposium, and last but not least, a Goofy movie celebrates 30 years with an exclusive documentary. And then we're going to close out the episode with a special announcement. I can't wait to share. All right. I may have said this in the beginning of the episode, but if I didn't, please grab your coffee or tea or a little something, depending on the time that you're listening to this episode, and let's chat. So, in our first story, Cardi B, I don't dance now, I make money moves. Cardi B is making money moves in fashion with her partnership with Revolve Group. So this article was pulled from Essence.com, but full transparency, I did see this on social media first on Women's Wear Daily, but I got more of the details from Essence.com. Pulling a blurb from the article, it states, the venture reportedly includes Cardi B and Revolve Group co-founders and co-chief executive officers Michael Mente and Mike Carnicolas. Also, if I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. And Revolve Group Chief Brand Officer Raisa Girona. Per Women's Wear Daily, as I mentioned, additional shareholders include Foster, Carter, and Jennifer Walker, as well as Adam Jarosz, co-founders of PR and brand marketing agency Walker Jarosz. So Cardi B, if you're not familiar with her, she started out, actually, if we want to take it way back, how Cardi started out. Cardi started out as a stripper. No judgment. But she started out as a stripper and then became social media famous for her takes on IG. Then once she was on IG, she got the attention of Love and Hip Hop. I think it was New York. Love and Hip Hop New York, in which she became a series regular on the show. Cardi B, though, saw that as an opportunity as a springboard for her music career because she did start rapping before she actually got on Love and Hip Hop. One of her mixtapes, one of my favorite mixtapes actually, is her mixtape. I think it's called Forever. Rain down on it twice. Rain down on you know me. We don't need to dive into my life. But anyway, Cardi B had music before Love and Hip Hop. However, Love and Hip Hop was a springboard for her career. Then she came out with the very popular song, Bodak Yellow. That was a song that cemented Cardi B in the music industry. To date, she only has one studio album that she has actually released, mixtapes and an actual studio album. But that one studio album, along with a slew of collaborations with her ex-husband, are they divorced? I don't know. I stay out of people's business. But anyway, including collaborations with her estranged, there you go, we're going to use that, estranged husband, Offset, as well as other artists like Glorilla. I believe she has a song like Meg Thee Stallion and other artists as well. Cardi B has remained relevant in the music space. However, where Cardi B is smart, and I have said this from the beginning, is her ability to recognize the importance of strategic brand collaborations. And we're going to tie this into a nice big bow when we get into the marketing tactics behind Cardi B's latest venture. So Cardi B has worked with brands like Pepsi. She's also done like limited edition, I believe, like shoe drop. She did a partnership with Fashion Nova. She has her own business venture, like her Whipped collection, which is alcoholic whipped cream that she has. And she's done like a slew of other business ventures. Cardi is smart. She's strategic. She knows how to stay top of mind in the mind of her target customer and her consumer, as well as leverage social media to her benefit. On top of that, Cardi B has managed to enter the fashion space in a way where the fashion industry has taken her seriously. She is a type, which I respect, that wears Fashion Nova and makes it look good, but also could put on a Shirapelli dress and knock it out the park. She has sat front row at like New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, has been dressed down by her stylist and her team, and is revered for her personal style. when it comes to being in the fashion space. Cardi eats the girls up, no lie. So this move into a partnership with Revolve Group not only expands her position in the market, it also expands her position as staying within cultural relevance. A lot of times when it comes to female rappers, the industry tends to pigeonhole them, right? They tend to pigeonhole them in what they can do, the kind of music they can produce, and the business ventures that they can do, especially if you even want to explore the topic of motherhood. That is a taboo word itself. And Cardi B even broke the idea of what that could be as well, being a working mother in the industry and embracing her pregnancies with her husband Offset. They have 3 kids, but still continue to work and not allow for that to push her behind the scenes. She actually allowed it to amplify her even more, showing that a baby bump don't stop the hustle, essentially. So with this partnership with Revolve, which will allow for her to expand into new spaces, including fashion and beauty. The marketing takeaways from this, one is authenticity and legacy building. And again, if you're new here, if you see me looking down, I bring notes to the conversation. So I'm looking at my notes off screen to make sure that we're having an engaged and informed conversation. So like I mentioned, it brings authenticity and legacy building. Cardi B is not just lending her name to a brand. She is deeply involved in creating her own apparel and beauty lines with Revolve. This move is about crafting a legacy that reflects her genuine style and vision, ensuring that her influence extends beyond music into the fashion and beauty industries. Number 2, as I touched on before, but we're going to amplify it a bit more, strategic partnerships for impact. Like I said, Cardi make money moves, honey. She make them. By collaborating with Revolve Group, Cardi B aligns herself with a company known for its strong presence in the fashion world. This partnership is designed to make a significant impact, combining her cultural influence with Revolve's market expertise to reach a broad audience. Like I said before, traditionally in the past, with female rap artists, they try to box them in one area, whether it's the kind of music they can produce and the kind of business that they can pursue. Cardi has broke the barrier of what that should look like by forging her own path. This partnership with Revolve will expand her into space and kind of take her really the Rihanna route, because Rihanna, give her credit, has been the person who has made business moves like this before Cardi even really got on the mainstream scene. So Rihanna has really helped inspire what this could look like, but Cardi B is taking it even further when it comes to rap music and female rap specifically. And finally, number 3, commitment to quality and inclusivity. I know that's the word we want to say at the moment. Catch tea. But inclusivity in the fashion space is still very important. As we see a reduction of plus size lines, of lines that are made to be worn for a variety of body sizes, shapes, etc., it is going to be more important for the fashion industry, whoever decides to enter this space, to make it their active decision to create lines that are specifically made for body types that are outside of the fashion industry standard of sample size. We're just going to leave it there. So looking at this commitment to inclusivity and quality, Cardi emphasizes the importance of offering products that are not only fashionable, like I mentioned with, her wearing Schiaparelli and things like that, but also offering high quality and true to size. She wants her clothing line to feature pieces that customers will love and wear repeatedly, focusing on accurate sizing and durable materials to cater to a diverse clientele. And again, that is very important in the fashion space. When you see brands that actively work to include others, to actively work to serve their customers, to listen to their customers and create quality apparel, because we don't want, look, The curvy girls and size inclusive girls want quality clothing too. We want something that we can wear that does not fall apart, that was not made cheaply, that if we wash it 2 times, we can't wear it again. We want to invest in our wardrobe. And, for those of us who do, there's a reason why those pieces still last. There's a reason why we frequent those brands, because we believe in who they are at the core as well as the clothes that they produce. So shout out to you, Cardi. I can't wait to see what you do next, girl. Up next, Marriott named official hotel partner for Cowboy Carter. Now, as a Queen Bee, a Hive member, affiliate Beehive member level 6, code 9481444487. How you doing? How you doing? Level 7 affiliate level pending. My application is still being processed. I love when brands pay attention to the impact things like tours can have on bringing an economic driver to their business. As a Marriott Elite member myself, okay, I think I'm Gold Elite status. It pays to be elite, y'all. But as a Marriott member myself, I love when these smart partnerships bring together something that's going to be a pop culture phenomenon and very popular across the social media channels, and they tie it back into their business. I also did see something similar with Hilton when Wicked launched. They did a special hotel package specifically for the Wicked movie. But focusing on this story, this source came from Marriott's website. I actually saw the press release when it dropped because I got the alert on my phone about this notification. So, pulling the blurb from the press release, it states, as the official hotel partner of the Cowboy Carter Tour, Marriott Bonvoy is giving members unparalleled access to concert experiences in cities around the world. Extraordinary prize packages for tour stops across the United States and Europe are available for Marriott Bonvoy members through a sweepstakes. Members can also redeem points for Marriott Bonvoy moments. Again, I love the fact that they're tying in their Marriott Bonvoy experience into this upcoming tour, which I believe it launches on August 28th, which is this month. So, the marketing takeaways. Let's start first. Exclusive access for Marriott Bonvoy members. Marriott Bonvoy, which is Marriott's Points Rewards program, is offering members a unique opportunity to experience Beyonce's Cowboy Carter Tour, including exclusive ticket packages and VIP experiences. I did enter. I did enter. Yes, I got my tickets. I know I got my tickets, but if I can get them for free and see her twice with a hotel, I'm going. Number 2, turning loyalty into a lifestyle with Cowboy Carter. Marriott Bonvoy is taking rewards to the next level by giving fans of Beyonce's Cowboy Carter Tour more than just a concert ticket. They're giving them a full experience. Let me cook. From VIP packages to curated packages, they're turning loyalty points into unforgettable moments. Then, moving on to point number 3, 1 point drops equal high impact, low barrier. With 1 point drops, basically saying you just need 1 point to enter to win this exclusive experience. Marriott is shaking up the traditional sweepstakes model. Members can score access to tour stops with just a single point, making the Cowboy Carter magic more accessible and buzzworthy. You see what I did there? Buzzworthy? For fans everywhere. And then finally, bringing the tour energy to the hotel grounds. Because you know one thing us Beehive members do? We pull up with the energy. Energy. Look around, everybody on mute. I just had to do it. Okay. Finally, it's not just about the arena. Marriott Properties in tour cities are hosting Cowboy Carter inspired activations like, photo ops, all the things, DJs, and also theme pre and post parties. It's about extending the energy of the tour into every touch point of the traveler's journey. And if we were adding for a little razzle dazzle, we have to think about the content that's going to come from this, right? As a marketer, the main thing I always think about is what is the strategic direction for this project, but what is going to be the content impact that this project creates? And it could be something as small as someone sharing their own personal story or sharing the joy and delight that their child felt by attending one of like a community outreach event, or just someone who decided to retweet and repost or react to your content from that campaign. The content and really the content value that will be created from this will be invaluable for the team to repackage and continue to repurpose throughout this entire tour. I cannot wait to see what happens with Cowboy Carter because we still don't know what Queen Bee has up her sleeve. But I'm looking forward to it because I know Miss Girl got something planned because that Renaissance tour, honey, I'm still talking about it. Okay, in our next story, we have Black Fashion Fair's inaugural symposium. So I pulled this from the Black Fashion Fair website. And Black Fashion Fair, y'all, if you're not familiar, please take a look to see what they do in terms of the fashion industry. But Black Fashion Fair, they are hosting their first ever symposium, in-person symposium on May 10th in New York. Now, if you think about the dates, the Met Gala, darling, which happens on the first Monday of May, the theme of this year is Black Dandyism. And I'm excited about this theme because I don't think Vogue has ever explored Black culture with the Met Gala. But to me, this ties perfectly in together with the upcoming theme of the Met Gala and having this symposium. So it makes sense to bring those two in to connect the dots. So when it comes to the event itself, Black Fashion Forward is a Black Fashion Fair's inaugural symposium spotlighting Black designers and creatives shaping the future of fashion and culture. And as much as I'm not going to dive into politics because I know we're all sick of hearing it, but as someone who is a DMV girly raised, the impact of Black culture in this area is undeniable. There's a reason why they call it Chocolate City, right? And with the things that are currently happening to dismantle, to undermine, to erase essentially the impact of Black culture in our museums, in our leadership and things like that, it is going to become even more important for us to hold these spaces for us to feel safe, to hold these spaces for us to feel recognized for our talents and what we bring to the table. Because while we understand what is happening out there, we have to protect what's happening within our own bubble and still continue to amplify and uplift and move forward the best way that we can. So events like this are going to help that narrative continue forward no matter what any administration has to say. So when it comes to the key marketing takeaways, let's hit 3 points here. First, it's amplifying Black designers and creatives. Black Fashion Fair is dedicated to uplifting and showcasing the work of Black designers and creatives in the fashion industry. Number 2, educational and community engagement. The platform of Black Fashion Fair has become a leading voice in the scholarship of Black design, offering new pathways for Black designers and fostering a community that challenges traditional narratives in fashion. And to speak on that too, as someone who believes, I'm rooting for everybody Black, but as someone who truly believes in supporting Black and inclusive creative communities, it warms my heart when I see people like the brand behind me, Brandon Blackwood, when I see Telfar, when I see other Black designers and creatives get recognized on a global stage for their work. But a lot of times it takes things like this for us to even get those opportunities to shine. Because sometimes, as someone who I shared in the previous episode used to work in fashion, it is a very sometimes members only space where they don't want to allow too many people in, right? So having spaces like this where you feel not only free to be your full self, but you don't have to over explain your work to someone because they just don't get it or they don't see the value in it. Space like this exists for a reason and are the reason why creatives are able to move forward with their work and create things of impact and cultural relevance. Finally, collaboration initiatives. Again, collaboration seems to be a theme that's coming up here with this episode. Since its inception in 2020, Black Fashion Fair has partnered with both established and emerging Black designers, artists, and creatives, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and elevating Black talent. So essentially, tying up with a big bow what I just said before about the importance of amplifying our communities and creating that space where we can show up as our full selves. So this event, I believe the tickets start about $130. They do have a special student rate discount, and it is in New York. At the time of this recording, I am not sure they're going to offer a virtual option. However, if you're interested in attending in person, they do have the information on their website where you can learn more and you can purchase tickets. Okay. In our final story, before we get to our announcement, a Goofy movie, one of my favorites, by the way, launches exclusive documentary. The source for this was people.com. And just to let you know, at the time of this recording, the documentary has launched already. It launched on Monday, April 7th. But we're going to talk about it in terms of, again, the documentary and the marketing impact. So if you want to go ahead and watch it, you can pause the podcast and go ahead and watch it right now. But we're going to talk about that, okay? Cool. So the title of the documentary, Not Just a Goof, is a documentary that will be on Disney Plus. I'm sorry if you don't got a subscription, just do like me. Go ahead and restart it, watch the documentary, maybe watch a Goofy movie for some little nostalgia, and then cut it off because budgets. But the documentary is directed by Eric Kimmelton and Christopher Nines. It looks back at the making of the 1995. I need to sit with that for a moment because, my God, 1995. The 1995 animated film that wasn't always a Disney darling, but found its audience with time and message with heart. And also, if you want to kind of hear my fun takeaway with this, you can go ahead and visit my videos on TikTok, aka the Clock app. I did do a post about this recently, talking about a Goofy movie and the documentary. So let's talk about those marketing takeaways. In the marketing takeaways, we're going to hit 3 touch points. 1, how a Goofy movie leveraged a niche audience for long-term success. So despite modest initial box office returns, a Goofy movie cultivated a dedicated fan base over time, demonstrating the value of targeting niche markets and fostering community engagement for enduring brand loyalty. Number 2, authentic storytelling still resonates. The film's heartfelt narrative about the father-son relationship between Goofy and Max struck a chord with audiences, including me, as someone who was raised by their mom. It looked more like my family dynamic than what I saw on TV at the time, which was more a traditional family, mom and dad, 2 kids, a dog, maybe a hamster. That wasn't my family. My family mirrored closer to Max and his dad because it was just me and my mom. So it hit my heartstrings as well because I felt seen for the first time on television. Well, it's an animated movie, which you know what I'm saying. It also underscored the importance of genuine storytelling and creating emotional connections with consumers. And then finally, that cultural relevance through music and themes, incorporating contemporary music such as Tevin Campbell, Eye to Eye, singing it eye to eye, and we listen to each other's eye. Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, that's my jam though. But creating those relatable themes help the film stay relevant, highlighting the effectiveness of aligning content with current cultural trends to enhance audience appeal. And to let you guys know who may not be familiar with who Tevin Campbell is, first of all, Have you been to a cookout recently? Because Tevin gonna be played at least once or twice. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Anyway, Tevin Campbell was the darling of the 90s. He had that hit single, Can We Talk? He also had other hit singles like, I'm Ready, was a guest star on Fresh Prince. Remember that episode when Ashley had her birthday and he sang happy birthday to her and she fell out? That episode. But this movie, a Goofy movie, really solidified him in terms of that pop culture relevance. Because even though Powerline, the character that he played in the movie, was a fictional character, that soundtrack itself, for us kids of elder millennials who grew up in the 90s, was like our kids' bop, right? That tape was played through many a household, worn out in my household for sure. But it was really great music to have that we could listen to with our parents through an artist that our parents were already familiar with. But it was done in a way adapted to us for our musical ear. And then finally, a thing that's not on here on the list, but I'll just say it too. A Goofy movie, while it was a slow burn, and now it's celebrating its 30th anniversary, still to this day, to me, is one of the best films that Disney has ever created. I have many a fond memory rewatching the movie on VHS. Don't start. But watching a movie on VHS with my mom, and the way that they explore, again, those themes of the father-son relationship, also his son's own self-discovery as he navigates his crush, but also understanding that his father is not trying to punish him by spending time with him. He's understanding that time is also moving forward and Max is getting older. So he wants to cherish those moments as much as possible. That really resonates for people who, have close relationships with their parents or maybe raised by one parent, in the household or guardian. Our parents understand how the things that they teach us are going to be the things that we carry forward, and the traditions that we create through the memories that we make with them when we're young or in our adulthood. We're going to bring that forward to the next generation, whether it's through our own families or our nieces and nephews. So I really, really love a Goofy movie. It's still one of my favorites to this time, and seeing the content that's being created around this movie, celebrating the 30th anniversary, from the Disney cruise where they did, I think, the Create Joy cruise. I could be wrong, but they invited a plethora of Black content creators on a cruise, to seeing other content creators receive specialized boxes with limited edition merch inside and creating content around that inspired by the movie. Is really great to see. And I'm glad a Goofy movie is finally getting its flowers. You have been patient for the almost 40 minutes that you have been listening to me talk on this podcast and cry. Full transparency, I did cry. But I do have an announcement. My announcement is, actually, is it kind of like two announcements? It kind of is two announcements. Okay. Two announcements. So, I have been invited to host a virtual workshop with the American Marketing Association on Tuesday, April 15th. So at the time of this recording, it's in less than a week. I am really excited and honored to be leading a workshop about reimagining the creative process in marketing. And if you're unfamiliar with the AMA, the American Marketing Association is one of the leading organizations around marketing. So to be invited to do this workshop is an honor. It is a feather in my cap that I am so proud to have. And as someone who, I said this, about a couple years ago, that I really want to start exploring thought leadership, hence why I have the podcast to talk to all of you. But exploring thought leadership and being able to be influential in my field in a way to share my knowledge with others, it just brings me great joy. I'm so excited and I'm so honored. If you're interested in attending, it is a paid virtual workshop, but go ahead and visit the link in my bio where you can learn how to register and how to attend the workshop. And hey, if you're able to come, go ahead and drop a little something in the chat. Let me know that you're there. I would love to, be able to, converse with you while we're doing the workshop, or even connect with you offline if you have any additional questions. Last announcement, and I know it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but toot toot, beep beep. I was also accepted into the YouTube creators event that's going to be happening here in DC next month in May. I'm super excited because it was very limited space, but they are doing a tour around the country in which YouTube will be doing special creator events for their creator community, giving us tips and tricks and things like that. And you had to apply, and they accepted the little podcast that could. So I'm really excited to be able to attend to see some of my favorite creators there, including Jasmine Smith, aka my Puddin' Pop, Carrie, who also has her podcast, The Kickback with Carrie, and a few other people I'm excited to see at the creator event. So I'm really excited about that. You know, I've been taking my podcast seriously, a lot more seriously on the YouTube side this past year. And I'm really grateful that that hard work is starting to pay off. While I may have a few subscribers right now, I'm hoping that the tools and things that I learned and consistency in showing up authentically will continue to help me grow. I hope you enjoyed today's chat. Don't forget to follow Coffee with Yvonne on Instagram and Threads at Coffee with Yvonne. You can sign up for my newsletter to get personalized audio and video content, Coffee with Yvonne podcast episodes, and marketing magic breakdowns from your favorite campaigns by visiting the show notes. For my personal account, and this is who I am day in and day out, may not share it on stories, but that's for Instagram, not TikTok. Anyway, that's not why we're here. You can find me on Instagram, Fanbase, and TikTok, aka the Clock app, at Yvonne_creative marketer. To learn more about me and my business, go ahead and visit pinkdollhousemarketing.com to check out my website, or you can follow my business page on Instagram. You can slide into my DMs. That's cool. And remember, creatives, to keep showing up, keep creating, and that your voice matters. I'll see you next time on Coffee with Yvonne, and I cannot wait to chat with you soon. Okay, bye! Coffee with Yvonne is produced and edited by Yvonne Pearson. Coffee with Yvonne is created by Pink Dollhouse Marketing. You can catch the latest episodes by subscribing to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.